everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dungeon of Doom Insider. We are celebrating our 30th season this year in 2026, and to celebrate that, we're giving you guys even more of a behind the scenes look into what we do in the off season. So we get a lot of questions like, does the haunted house stay open year round? What do we do in the off season? What is our normal day job like? Well, this is our normal day job. This is what we do year round. So one of the biggest things that we have to do is check on all of our animatronics. We've got over 50 animatronics, and what defines an animatronic is any of our props that are powered by pneumatic or air pressure. So during the off season, we gotta make sure everything's working as intended. So we got a lot to check on, so we're gonna make this quick. Let's go. All right, so out here in our indoor waiting line, we have animatronic number 1. This guy blasts air at you and fog while you're waiting in the queue line. All right, animatronic number 2 is Ancient Evil here. He's looking great. All right, as we walk through the first corridors, we have animatronic number 3. And if you watched the video from last year, you may recognize these animatronics number 4 and number 5. Let's take a look how these guys are doing. All right, we're 5 animatronics in. So far, so good. Let's keep going through the hunt. And animatronic number 6, one of our oldest in the entire haunted attraction. All right, as we walk through Sanctuary, we're gonna come across our first electric animatronic. So he is not powered by pneumatics, rather just a small motor that gives him this movement here. But as we continue down, we wanna activate her. She's looking great. And we got these 2 beauties. All right, so we've already gone through the first 10 animatronics and we're only a few rooms into the haunted house. One thing I do want to make clear as we head over to the next animatronic is although animatronics are really, really cool, they can do movements that, us humans can't do, they'll never replace actors. So they're a really good filler or cool effect to have, but without our actors, we're a museum, an interactive museum. So it's important that we prioritize our actors more than animatronics, but it's also important to make sure the animatronics are doing what we want them to do. All right, here we have animatronic number 11, looking good. Also, one of our favorite effects, although not an animatronic, it does use compressed air, is our air blasts. So these we can hide really, really well, and they make a really loud sound, which is awesome. All right, as we enter the underworld, we're gonna have 3 back-to-back. So that's an electric prop, that would be number 12. And then as we round the corner, we have number 13. And then as we round the corner yet again, we have number 14. All right, let's check in on animatronic number 15. Looking good. All right, so earlier I asked you guys on social media what were some of the questions you had for us on what we do in the off season. And one question I get most often is, what is your favorite part about working at a haunted house year round? And although it sounds a little obvious, it's being able to have this as our office and do this year round. So it's only February and we're in here working very, very hard trying to bring a big renovation for 2026. I also love that it always changes, that one day we're programming, the next day we're building, and then lighting and making sound, filming promos. So every single day is different, they never repeat. And I just love that we get to work in here. It's a lot of fun. All right, as we progress through the Vines of Terror, we come across one of our biggest, animatronic number 16. We're gonna take a little shortcut through Slaughterhouse and show you animatronic number 17. All right, as we walk through the Slaughterhouse, we have animatronic number 17. All right, now it's time to enter into Mercy General Hospital. Let's see what we got going in here. And number 18 is actually an animatronic You Get a Ride. This is our fan favorite elevator that starts out your experience in Mercy General Hospital. And at number 18, we got Granny. At number 19, we got this pretty simple movement here. And for 20th, we got this guy in the Insane Asylum. And number 21 would be this guy falling over on you. Animatronic 22. Subtle, but some pretty cool movement. This is also one of the oldest animatronics we have in the entire building. And like I said about air cannons, well, they're really, really good startle because they're super loud and really easy to hide. Just like that. And as we round the corner, coming out of the morgue inside Mercy, we got number 23. And if you've ever walked through the Dungeon of Doom, you know 24 all too well. We like to call him Chucky. He's definitely our most effective animatronic that we have in the hunt. We have a camera right by him, and it is an absolute blast watching people get scared by him. Down this hallway in Pre-Condemned, we have animatronic number 25. Another great question we received online was, how do we come up with all the ideas for different themed rooms and attractions? And actually it comes down to you guys. At the end of our attraction, we have surveys where you guys can give us your feedback, and we really do take that to heart and review every single survey. It also comes down to what hasn't changed in a while. So if there's been an attraction that's been around for more than about 5 or 6 years, we like to focus on that to see if we can turn it into something brand new, just like what we're doing for 2026. And as we enter my personal favorite area, Condemned, we have animatronic number 26. And inside Condemned, we have animatronic number 27. He's a little bit more subtle. As we go take a look at animatronic number 28, one of my personal favorites, you can see that Condemned is actually getting a bit of love during the off-season with additional props and detailing. And for animatronic 29, as we test it, we're actually going to see a little bit of an issue here. So his air pressure is too low. We want him to be moving a little bit more violently than that. So as we were checking out that animatronic, I noticed that the movement was really slow. So my guess is that that's going to be too low of air pressure. So we're going to head over to its controller to see what the air pressure's at. All right, so this is a controller here. This little box at the top is just a computer that's telling these solenoids to open and close. So this is what controls the movement. If you want more details on that, go check back on a insider episode from last season, where I'll go into full detail on how all of this works. All right, so as we take a look at this valve here, we are currently sitting at 40 PSI. Most of our animatronics will run around 80 or 90 PSI. So traditionally what we would do is adjust this valve, which can limit how much air is going into the animatronic. But it looks like this valve must be busted, so this is going to get replaced for the 2026 season. That way we have full control on the animatronic. All right, animatronic number 30 is one of our most unique, as it is puppeted by one of our staff members. So this giant dragon head is actually up on the ceiling on a track here that allows this to go in and out and kind of lunge at our customers. And his jaw movement is controlled by pneumatics, so it is technically an animatronic. All right, another area inside our attraction that is getting some love for 2026 is the Victorian room. So we're working on gutting this to kind of give it a new theme for this year. So she is not currently plugged in, but animatronic number 31 would be this one here, where she's a scissor lift that comes out and moves her head around and lunges at you. So she's not currently operating as we work in this room, but that'd be animatronic number 31, which I think is a perfect spot to leave off for today. All right, so that was 31 out of over 50 different animatronics we have here inside the building. There are plenty more that we can't show you yet, and a lot of new ones coming in for the new renovation that we're doing, including our biggest animatronic to date. So let's go check in with Blake and Tony to see if they can answer some more of your guys' questions.
All right, guys, we have a question from Brendan Hansen. How do you keep actors motivated and going strong when the nights are busy and the line is hours long? Well, guys, at the end of the day, the Dungeon of Doom is 30 years strong, 30 years just constant, just edgy gore and in-your-face action, and we really push that on our actors throughout the entire off-season. We don't wait till September to meet up with them. We're starting in June. So from June to the time we open, we are making sure that they're ready to go and that they know from the time we open the 7 to when the last person crawls that it is going to be an in-your-face show no matter what, because they're all paying money. Whether it's a group of 8 or a group of 30 going in at once, they all paid the same amount of money. They all get the exact same show, even if it's 10, 11 p.m. at night. We have different positions inside the haunted house, such as a lead, a breaker, a floater. They're constantly going room to room, making sure our actors are doing what they're doing. They stay motivated by pumping up with them or double teaming with them or just really giving them ideas to do better in their spots when they feel like they're getting lower and lower due to the intense amount of people coming through. Plus, we also have breakers. Our actors are getting a break every single night. We do that because your body is doing things here that isn't natural. I mean, you're screaming, you're yelling, you're moving around in ways that you shouldn't be moving around, especially for long hours of the night. So they get a break every hour, they get food, they get water. We really make sure that they do the breaks and they eat the food and water, so when they come back in, they're ready to go and they're refreshed. Plus, when you hear the person ahead of you and the person behind you getting screams, you want your screams to be way more intense than the other person. So we do a lot of competition here as well, and it's all friendly competition, but at the end of the day, we really just want to stand out over everybody else, and our actors are the main ingredient to that. So we really, really strive to push everyone to the best of their ability, and that's what we do here at the Dungeon to Do.
1988, the old haunted farmhouse. One of the first years I started working, I walked into one of the scenes and it was just, and I was an actor just then, me and my grandfather, Gene Lovetek, God rest his soul. When we started this, and I started to see the reactions of the customers, and then at the end of the haunted house, when we were talking to them, and I could see how happy they were about it, it was just something that struck me, and it's something that I've been, had a goal to do ever since. So when you ask me what keeps me going and what makes this thing a little bit more than just a business, was customer reactions.
And another question I get asked very frequently is our building haunted, or have we experienced anything that we can't explain? And we do have quite a bit of stories, but I think the best one, which does actually have some evidence, is one time I was in the haunt by myself, no one else in the building, getting some photos of our attractions, and I got this photo here. So it may look pretty innocent or that you can't see anything, but as we zoom into this little window here, if you look closely, you may see or be able to make out a silhouette of the top part of someone's head, almost kind of creeping over the corner. So you can see the two eye sockets, the kind of forehead, and then where the nose would be. This is a pretty creepy photo. Not saying it's anything, but I would say it's probably my favorite picture to show people when they ask me that question. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Dungeon & Doom Insider. Be sure to stay tuned on the last Friday of every month for another Dungeon & Doom Insider episode. This is going to be a great year for it, as we are going to show you every step of the process for our massive 2026 renovation, including telling you which area has been torn down, showing you the demolition process and the fabrication process. So this is going to be a lot of fun during this off season, so stay tuned and we will see you guys in 1 month.